going to open up the round of 8. At Talladega Superspeedway, William Sawalich on the pole, first of his career. Off we go in Central Alabama.
Nice break there on the start for Sawalich in the one truck. He's got that bottom lane gathered up, and they're going to town.
And let Ben Rhodes jump in behind him as well in the 99 truck. It'll take at least a lap for these trucks to get wound up.
What about Grant Enfinger? I talked about being dedicated to that yellow line. He said, that's not a good idea for me, Mike. He moved right up in front of Chase Purdy. He saw the momentum the outside lane was gaining, and he wanted to be a part of that.
You'll see these trucks dance around a little bit too, Adam. They won't be that easy to drive, especially in traffic like this.
Nice shove, outside lane. Chevy helping Chevy. The 9 is in front. Enfinger getting a push from that red and black 77 of Chase Purdy as we ride on board with Daniel Dye.
Daniel, one of those drivers that didn't get to qualify, had a wind net issue on pit road. So he'll be looking at this mess ahead of him and trying to make decisions about how to best get to the front. Outside he goes.
I was going to say that guy he's behind isn't a bad one to follow, Johnny Sauter, but Daniel said, no, I've got a bit of a run. I'm going to make it 3 wide.
And I like that on lap 2, Phil. You got to try it out. You got to see what you've got, how much ground you can make. He obviously knows now that if no one goes with him, he's not going anywhere other than backwards.
Side by side at the front. You got Purdy in the 77. The 9 is Grant Enfinger, and all of our playoff drivers highlighted in the pylon in yellow. You can track their progress there.
Big push by Matt Mills on the 77 to Purdy, and like you said, Adam, they're dancing. Trucks are a handful when you got somebody on your tailgate.
And how about that guy that sat on the pole, that 18-year-old that sat on the pole as Purdy pulls down in front of Grant Enfinger? William Sawalich, the first time he has ever done this on this type of racetrack, and doing a great job. You see him 3rd truck in line on the bottom.
You think about that, the format this weekend, show up and qualify. No practice. So in addition to getting your legs under you early in the race, you're trying to gain a little knowledge on what you have, how it fills in the draft, and that process magnified for driver 1, William Sawalich, who has never done it before.
No problems already. We're hearing that's a penalty for Ben Rhodes. NASCAR is saying that Ben Rhodes actually launched first. Again, it's William Sawalich. That's the control truck, and he was within the restart zone, and Ben Rhodes jumped a little bit early.
And you see him give it back. Ben definitely rolled off the gas to give it back, but in NASCAR's judgment, he jumped the start on the pole sitter, and that's not allowed. So he was charged with a drive-through penalty.
So
they debated it for quite a bit, but that's how it turned out.
Does the pass-through, but this opening stage is only 20 laps, so a couple of things in play here. How long can he stay in front of the draft? And number 2, does anybody else go a lap down, allowing him to get the free pass when we get the first caution, should it be the end of stage 1?
Yeah, running by himself, he's going to be 2 to 3 seconds slower than this field, so there's a chance that these guys will catch him, but again, they shouldn't lap anybody else unless someone else has some sort of an issue. Look at Matt Mills jump to the outside of Grant Enfinger.
13 is Jake Garcia working hard in the outside lane. That's a Ford helping a Chevrolet.
We talked about William Sawalich. How about 3rd in line on the outside, the 7 of Connor Zilic? Same situation for him. He does have some experience on high-speed racetrack like Michigan. He won his ARCA debut at Michigan. His first race on an intermediate track.
This is a whole different animal, though, isn't it, Phil?
It is.
The only thing that are nearly the same is the speeds. Was Ben speeding when he made his pass through?
Blend violation coming back onto the track in turn 2. The blend was not where NASCAR wanted it to be, so he has another pass-through penalty, and that will put him squarely behind the 8 ball as he exits pit road. Here comes the field.
Yeah, he will without a doubt find himself a lap down when this field catches him. Again, they're running probably 20 miles an hour faster than he is right now. Watch him go by. He has to stay on the apron till he gets to turn 2.
Up onto the racetrack, there's a banking down below the yellow line that you're supposed to run on. It's enough to hold you when you run wide open, but he didn't go down there.
And this is so challenging when you put someone in his situation and everyone in the draft has got to maneuver around him at a much slower speed.
A lot of times we see a lot of incidents caused by that situation exactly. Looks like we're able to successfully manage this one.
He blended in, and that's a good move because now he's a lap down, but he's with the leaders. There's one truck that has fallen nearly a half lap behind, and that's the 28 of Keith McGee.
See, one of the spoiler braces has come loose on the 16 of Johnny Sauter. Again, there's 6 braces on that spoiler. That should not cause any issues.
Did you hear Daniel Dye playing with the throttle, laying off of it a bit right now? I like being conservative, Adam. Right now, I don't want somebody pushing me from behind. Let's just ride in line, log some laps, and figure out how to best use those runs. You're not just running wide open or lifting because another truck's in front of you. You're constantly experimenting with where the throttle needs to be. How do you ride the brakes? How do you best get a run on the truck ahead of you?
Closing on the middle point of stage 1 at Talladega Superspeedway. A lot of movement in that lead draft. Grant Enfinger, the leader for now. Grant Enfinger, the man in charge here at Talladega Superspeedway. It's the Craftsman Truck Series. You're watching the Love's RV Stop 225.
See, Chase Purdy has moved to the outside in front of Matt Mills in the 42. A nice push from Chase Purdy to Grant Enfinger. Grant Enfinger to push him ahead of Matt Mills, and then he jumped up in front of Matt. Now he's going to try to go around the outside with a little bit of help from that 42 of Matt Mills.
Look at those trucks move around, man. Every lap that goes by, there's just a little bit less grip in these tires, and we talked about having these trucks trimmed out as best you can. Not a whole lot of aerodynamic downforce, or as little as you can stand, and these guys are really starting to bounce around.
I kind of touched on this, but how much of the early portion is the race, is about gaining knowledge for later versus also just trying to set yourself up for success?
100% about gaining knowledge. You want to see how your truck drafts around other trucks. It might draft around a Chevy different than it does a Toyota. And now I love especially what Williams Swalish, Connor Zilic are doing. They're learning every lap at them. They're just taking their eyes and taking it all in, seeing what kind of pushes they can give, what they can take. And these guys are on the fast track to trying to figure out how to do this in competition, never doing it before.
we saw Johnny Sauter on pit road a few minutes ago. NASCAR made him come down pit road and repair that spoiler brace that came off that truck.
He did go a lap down. Ben Rhodes jumped in front of him in the running order. So as we're at 9 laps to go, stage 1. Ben Rhodes still the first truck, 1 lap down. Depending on how the rest of this stage goes, could get the free pass.
It looks good because just up ahead, you see ahead of the pack, that truck, that's the 28 of McGee. And so the pack is going to go storming around McGee, which will put Ben ahead of him. And I don't think there's any other trucks in danger of going a lap down right now.
See 3 wide. Bailey Curry is on the outside to see if he can get a 3rd lane going. Chase Purdy now, did he get shoved up out of that middle line there? Let's see if we can see. Look at bottom of your screen.
Oh, turned.
That was a push from the 42 of Matt Mills, and he was trying to help him. He was not trying to push him out of the way. He was trying to help him as they go by Keith McGee. That's the red truck on the outside.
Phil, like I said in the opening, you got to be precise, but you're going to start pushing, you're going to start blocking, you're going to start changing lanes, all those things right now. And that's why this is such a wild race, because you've got to make sure your decisions are perfect.
You talked at the very start about what happens when you lose your momentum, like we saw Christian Eckes do last year. Chase Purdy is almost to the very back of the pack. He's fallen probably outside the top 25.
His truck looked a little bit dartier than the rest, so that could have had something. Well, he got turned out there, but that might be why he's not fighting back up through there. He's up on the outside of 3 wide now, though.
Riding along with Lane Riggs, the Love's RV stop. Ford running up through the middle. Got a nice little run going up through the middle here, following the 15 of Tanner Gray.
Sometimes when that middle opens, it's a great feeling. You just pass trucks right up the middle.
He's racing around some playoff drivers. Went by Christian Eckes, Sanchez, the 91 Ryan Reed making his first start of the year. 38 showing some speed and muscle early on.
Look at Reed. He is struggling right now to hang on to that truck. Sanchez all over him.
So Christian Eckes was back there as well in the Napa truck. Now he has moved down to the inside line.
This is some tight racing. Watch the 91 as the 2 gets there.
He was wobbling when he got there, wasn't he?
And it didn't get much better. I think Christian Eckes, he and his spotter decided we better back off the gas here a bit.
I'm nervous for both the 2 and the 19 being playoff drivers, because you get in the middle of it. You need to leave here with some stage points. You don't want to take a hit at Talladega, opening race of the round, and they're both in a compromised position. Coming to 5 laps to go, stage 1. Grant Enfinger out front right now. He's led 5 of them so far. The finish to the first stage when we come back. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing at Talladega Superspeedway. 3 laps to go in our opening stage. Grant Enfinger out front. Let's get some reports from pit road. We start with Regan.
Well, Adam, how about the run right now for Lane Riggs? All the way up 20 positions from where he started, or actually 19 positions right now to the 14th spot. Had trouble getting through tech yesterday as well as this morning. When I got to the garage this morning, the team had us going everywhere working on that truck. Of course, they didn't get to qualify. That's why he had to start in the back. He was calm and collected on pit road before the race, though. A lot of momentum for this team. 5 straight top 5s, trying to continue on doing that. Mamba?
Well, as that was going on, you guys see it now on the left side of your screen. The 2 of Nick Sanchez comes down pit road to short pit this stage to get some fuel, pack it full. We saw 2 wedge wrenches go in the back of the truck, get in the field for Nick. Nick wanted to dominate this race from the front of the pack like they did in Daytona, but they were dropping back, so figured let's get some fuel in this thing and try to flip the stage on the rest of the group. Adam?
Thoughts on the strategy call here, fellas?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. You can flip this stage. We heard Mamba mention that, but he also said put 2 wrenches in the back. That means that thing wasn't handling the way Nick needed it to. Let's make that adjustment. It's going to take a second. We're not going to lose a lap, and let's put ourselves in a better position when we start stage 2.
Yeah, because all the rest of the field will come to pit road when this stage ends, and Sanchez is going to cycle up to the front for the restart.
Final lap, first stage, and the one thing I want everyone to keep an eye on is they come through the tri-oval, make a note of where the start-finish line is, and look out right behind Enfinger. They are dancing. Matt Mills, outside lane, takes the 42 down to the inside in front of Enfinger.
That was a solid move by Matt. I think that might have been exactly what the doctor ordered. If Matt can hang there, does Grant Enfinger slide up high in front of the 13 of Sanchez, or excuse me, Jake Garcia that's coming.
And remember, that start-finish line is not right there in the tri-oval. It's down here towards turn 1 right here.
Enfinger gives a look, but he can't get there. It's Matt Mills who wins the opening stage at Talladega. It's the first time he's been victorious in a stage and Truck Series competition. Enfinger gets big points with second. The only other playoff drivers in the top 10, Majeski and Taylor Gray, were off and rolling at Talladega. Tomorrow, the NLDS begins on Fox and FS1 with 2 Game 1s. First, the Mets take on Harper and the Phillies. That's at 3:30 Eastern. Then at 8, Shohei Ohtani makes his postseason debut as the Dodgers get the Padres. It all begins tomorrow. Fox FS1, the exclusive home of the NLDS.
How many hits does Ohtani get tomorrow?
How many?
Yeah. 5?
I'm going to set the over-under at 2.5.
Wow, what a show he is.
Stage 1 breakdown. I said it going to break. 3 playoff drivers in the top 10 getting those much-needed stage points.
Yeah, huge for Grant Enfinger. As you mentioned, he came in here 11 points below that cut line. Gets 9 of them back right there.
There's C. Majeski with a few, and Taylor Gray also inside the top 10. The Gray brothers, we see that a lot, 9th and 10th in this first stage.
Ben Rhodes gets the free pass, so he's back on the lead lap. And here's the 2 of Nick Sanchez. You say, what's he doing back there? That's actually a good thing. You stay out here, and you inherit a ton of track position. I like this call.
Yeah, I think he was in a position he probably wasn't going to get any stage points. And obviously, we've seen a lot of wrecks coming to the line at the end of stages. So I think it was a great call by Bono to bring him down pit road, get some fuel, know now that he's going to cycle back to the front for this restart at the end when we start the second stage.
And we heard the crew say we're going to do major adjustments too.
Yeah,
so they worked on that truck as well, which could mean he was having his hands full back in the pack.
He was 19th when he made the pit stop. He literally was in the middle of the beehive. So you back out of it, you make your pit stop, and hopefully set yourself up for success later.
I think there's some oil on pit road here. NASCAR's cleaning up. The 41 of Bailey Curry, fresh off that first top 10 of the season last week. He had an issue. We're hearing gear fluid. And what's wrong with William Sawalich?
I don't know, but that's concerning for a driver that started on the pole and had such a successful opening stage, Regan.
Yeah, and Adam, unfortunately for William Sawalich, it is a battery issue. That's what the team has been hollering over the radio. They're going to try and get the left side jacked up as quick as they can if he can get this thing to roll all the way in. But tough break after doing such a great job in this first stage.
But Regan, how cool was it to watch he and Zilich just up there in the middle of things, learning lap after lap after lap. You know how valuable that experience is going to be if he can get this thing fixed up and go racing with them at the end.
That's quick
You know what's crazy,
work.
Michael, Michael, I can guarantee you in my first race at Daytona or Talladega, I was not up front getting that experience. So very valuable for both of those guys.
It's fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
Double duty this weekend for Sawalich.
Yeah, he's going to make the trek up to Toledo, Ohio for the championship race tomorrow right here on FS2 at 4 o'clock.
You going to walk us through that, Phil?
Gonna love it. It's gonna be great. Andres Perez, just by starting the race, will win the championship for Rev Racing. But it'll be a good battle. Sawalich, 8 wins this year and 13 starts in the ARCA series.
He and Zilich have just been incredible when they race in the ARCA series this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, William Sawalich had a poor finish at Dover. He got wrecked. Ironically, got run into by Connor Zilich accidentally. That's his only finish this year, I think, in 13 races outside the top 3.
Wow.
You know something I'm noticing here? We had to clean up on pit road, so it delays pit road opening, so we can't come down and get our service and all of that. It's just taking laps away during that second stage, and so not going to be near as much time to get the work done before we get that second green and white checkered flag of the afternoon.
But will it ratchet up the intensity
Yes.
maybe in that second stage?
I had my hand up over here, Phil. Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to do.
You saw Sawalich made it around to pit road, so they'll try and take care of his problems. You see him sitting idle there. And now everyone else will come. Pit road is open, scheduled stops under caution, end of stage 1. And the first driver we focus on, the 9 of Grant Enfinger.
And what a strong run it's been for Grant. Although you're seeing an adjustment there at the chassis. These trucks do not drive well in the draft. So Grant uses his experience, his knowledge to let the team what he thinks what he needs to be able to charge harder even yet.
We're watching the top of your screen. Taylor Gray bringing that 17 down pit road. Is a little edgy right now. His goal is to survive. He's doing a little better, getting some stage points. Regan?
Tyler Ankrum in the 18 truck. You saw he was very close to the line right there. Had to make sure they didn't cross it. Fuel only for him. He is too loose right now. And the 98 at Ty Majeski, loose at times, tight at times. Biggest concern, though, is the fact that it ran 250 degrees that whole run.
A lot of fuel only there. In fact, the first 6 trucks off the pit lane took only gas, and they continue to work on the William Sawalich Toyota. Stage 2 coming your way. And the spot in the championship 4 on the line for the trucks. Sunday is a huge day of football on Fox. At 1 Eastern, the Browns take on rookie sensation Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Or at 4, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals take on Brock, not related to Chase Purdy, and the Niners. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Chase is trying to be super, though, isn't he?
He is, yes.
Great infield scene here at Talladega. We talk a lot about the boulevard. There's also, you know, family areas out there as well, so you don't have to get lost on the boulevard. But there have been several people lost on the boulevard over the years.
This place is massive, 3,000 acres, and 1,000 acres dedicated to camping. It's a race fan's dream when you come to Talladega Superspeedway.
They're coming for the choose. Obviously, as we've talked, Sanchez will inherit the lead, and he is the control truck by his pit strategy, and I really like that. It'll be a short stage here, guys.
The choose here isn't nearly as critical as you might have it at other places. You might choose a teammate. There's another part of the Talladega infield that I love. Bill's Garage. Big Bill's celebrating Bill France Sr. That is just a wonderful place to stop in, have a cold beer, and enjoy the race.
What do you have for us, Mamba?
I got the crew chief of the 2 of Nick Sanchez, Kevin Bono, Manuel Bono. We saw you guys come down early there. Was that part of the strategy the whole day, or is that just because, you know, you guys were running about 18th right there?
Yeah, no, definitely not the strategy. We were hoping to get some stage points in that first stage. We tried the top lane and pushed the 91, got a little loose, and we had all check up. So With being out of the stage points, kind of a no-brainer, just come, and we knew everyone was going to do fuel only, so we're even with everyone now and have the lead. So hopefully get some stage points in stage 2.
Thanks, guys. Nick wants to lead this race and control it from the front. Well, now he's right where he wants to be.
And, you know, that's just a great audible, I think, by Bono. They saw they weren't going to get those stage points. We saw him nearly getting a crash with Ryan Reed, but good call there. Ryan, what's happening down there, Regan?
Well, you guys see William Sawalich still on pit road. Actually did not turn out to be a battery. They think it is the main power switch. They're trying to change that out right now. And the 88 Matt Crafton, he made another stop on pit road as well with the hood coming up. They've been running hot. They actually removed the radiator fan completely to try and help cool that truck down just a little bit. They think it was blocking air.
Interesting.
Sawalich going to go 4 laps down here. Other drivers 1 lap down. McGee and Sauter, they'll fight for the free pass. Here's Corey Heim radio, score 12.
I think the 17's got a tire going down in the left front. I mean, it's noticeably lower than anyone else's around us. It's working pretty bad.
Something to watch as we return to the green flag. In fact, here he is, Taylor Gray, playoff driver, did get stage points in stage 1, unscheduled pit stop as we go green in stage 2. Sanchez Infinger out front.
Just don't need to make a mistake if you're Gray. You want to make sure you don't speed, make things worse. We saw that earlier when Ben Rhodes went up on the track when he wasn't supposed to, got a penalty and come back to pit road. He's been able to overcome all that, though, back on the lead lap and in the lead draft.
A nice push from Majeski to the back of Sanchez. Zilich continuing to do a nice job. 3rd truck in line on the outside, that 7 truck.
You know what I love, Phil? I want my young guy to run on the bottom, see what that feels like. Get up on top, run out there, see how your truck handles, because you're going to need to be able to use both those lanes if you're going to have a chance to go win this race.
5 playoff drivers inside the top 10.
Lawless Allen inside the top 5 in that 33 truck, doing a nice job here at Talladega.
Now 6 playoff drivers top 10, 7 in the top 12. How about the 17, Mamba?
The 17 of Taylor Gray just came down after doing a great job in that first stage, getting some stage points. The team found a puncture in the left front tire. We got Goodyear engineers looking it over as well. So tough break for a group that was doing such a great job.
It ain't over, though, Mamba. He can still get back in the action. Look at that 3 wide, that outside lane forming. We've seen over the years, Phil, that outside lane work, get there eventually, but you just got to have the right circumstances. Stuart Friesen up there trying to drag him along.
One of those trucks right now that's in the 2nd lane would be considered the middle lane, may jump up there in front of Stuart Friesen. If he has a little bit of momentum, as we see the 91 of Ryan Reed hooked up with Friesen, they may get a little more help on the outside if they can make up a little more ground.
What does that feel like for Friesen? You're cruising along and then wham, right in the backside, you get a little help from someone in the draft.
It's so difficult to balance, Adam. You need it, you want it, but you just want to make sure that guy behind you understands it's got to be a square push. If not, offset just a little bit to the right in order to keep you going straight. And these pushes and shoves that we're seeing now, they're just going to intensify. It's going to get more and more aggressive as we go toward the checkered.
And we've seen so many of them go wrong so many times.
Talk about Friesen, talk about Reed right behind him. Ben Rhodes back on the lead lap in the game. Runner up here the last 2 years, and right behind him, 4th in line, outside lane. That's the 45 of Caden Honeycutt. And he announced this week he will be back full-time with Nice in 2025. Huge opportunity for him.
Now just look at this. Look what Lane Riggs is faced with. Out his front windshield, he has Matt Mills. He can't see through that truck. Both trucks on the right and left, side drafting. It's so intense. We're talking 180 miles an hour, inches apart here at Talladega.
And managing that throttle and touching the brake as well.
And look at his hands. Also where that hands go, oh, look, Mills moving around. Those hands go in tune with the feet too. You've got to adjust your steering at times when you let off the gas or get a push.
What a deal for Matt Mills. Lead all those laps in the opening stage, and you win the thing. Through the cycle of stops, you're right in the middle of the pack.
Oh, and it's so easy for someone to make a mistake right here.
See, that outside line is making some progress. You see Friesen up there leading Ryan Reed. Ben Rhodes along with him. I think it's just a matter of time, possibly before somebody will jump up there with him. they're losing a little bit of ground.
It's always intense. Been 2 and 3 wide the entire way.
My heart rate went up riding with Lane Riggs, Adam. I've been there, done that, as has Phil. It's just nothing quite like the draft at Talladega.
Next time around, 8 laps to go, stage 2. Grant Enfinger having a great day. Up front with Garcia, Allen, Sanchez, and Dean Thompson. We go side by side on FS1. You saw it all. We were side by side. Things are intense as we head toward the end of stage 2 at Talladega for the Craftsman Truck Series. It's the Love's RV Stop 225. Grant Enfinger and Nick Sanchez duking it out at the front. There'll be 5 to go this time around.
Grant has done a nice job trying to manage the front of the field there. Obviously, Nick was able to get side by side with him, but he was jumping from the inside line to the outside line to try to keep both lanes behind him. Now he's dead even with Sanchez.
You know, we talked earlier in qualifying about getting track position and controlling the race. This is a perfect example of a driver controlling the race, what Grant Enfinger is doing here at Talladega. Now, will it work all the way to the finish? Time will tell, but he's done a great job thus far.
Talladega has not been good to playoff drivers. Not only have they never won here, the most we've had finish in the top 10 ever is 5. 6 playoff drivers in the top 10 right now. And they look good at the front, but look outside in that second row in the outside lane. That's Connor Zilic in the 7. Had never been to this place, and boy, has he been so impressive in that 7 for Spire.
Nothing that young man is doing is surprising to me. We've seen him dominate in the ARCA series in the races. Went to Michigan for his first ever intermediate start, won that race. He's won the 24 Hours of Daytona, the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's just amazing what that youngster is able to do.
There's a 17. I wanted to show you him because look at this snarling pack coming at him. And this 17 is a fast truck. He's going to want to make sure he tries to blend and get ahead of Johnny Sauter. Can he do it, and can they avoid crashing?
Well, we need to guard that 16. We need to stay ahead of him if we can. Just saying, how much risk do you want to take to do it? I mean, you just got to look into your crystal ball to know how many other opportunities we're going to have because, yeah, 10-4, I agree, bud.
That's the question I just posed. How do you go about getting in line and getting ahead of Johnny Sauter? I think he's got to hug the bottom and use that lane in order to try to get where he wants to be.
I think if he stayed on the outside, both lines would just drive by him. I think you're exactly right, Michael. Try to stay in the bottom. If he stays in the middle now, that could cause some really havoc.
And the spotter is helping him make that decision. I like the bottom. Just like we saw Eckes last year, the bottom would have been a safer route. Sometimes you got to take a chance. I think he's going to stay down there, though.
Yeah, Sauter, the first truck, 1 lap down, but he's right in the middle of the draft, and he, like so many others, should go right by the 17. Here it is, 2.5 to go, and they split him.
Right in the middle. And he's got to keep his eye on that 16 truck. Maybe by the time the 16 of Johnny Sauter gets there, he will be back up to pace, and it looks like he is up to pace.
Oh, and Matt Mills tries to get in a hole that's not there.
Matt Mills, nearly sideways, hangs on to it in the trial.
Oh, and there's a crash.
There's Sanchez. He can't hang on. Caution out for the 2nd time today, 1st time for incident. And I said Sanchez can't hang on, but boy, he brought it around in a much better position than I thought he would. The 99 Ben Rhodes, the 77 is Chase Purdy.
There's Sanchez. You can see damage on that right side, left front. I'm going to tell you what, Connor Zilich did a nice job avoiding major contact.
And again, you know, it's relative to Taylor Gray trying to get back in line, but he didn't do anything wrong.
No.
He had to be somewhere.
And it just disrupted things at the front of that pack. And we saw how on the edge of control everyone was anyway. And when that went wrong, when they had to deal with that, trucks just got out of whack.
Pretty well executed by Taylor Gray, who has scored the first truck 1 lap down and should get the free pass here. And this caution will end our 2nd stage with Grant Enfinger out front. How about this? Enfinger comes into the race 11 points below the cut line. He gets 9 points in stage 1. He gets max points here in stage 2. It's his 2nd stage win of the year and the first time he's done it in the playoffs. Let's go back and watch what unfolded.
Matt Mills right there.
And this is where it all begins. He just tries to squeeze down. Is that Stephen Parsons in the Bob Sales truck? Squeeze down in front of Stephen. They got by with that, but that just tells you how disruptive things were. And as we go up toward the front of the battle, you can see Sanchez and Zilich squeezing together. Johnny Sauter squeezes through on the outside with Ben Rhodes and Chase Purdy into the wall. I just feel like if you watch.
There's another view of Matt Mills and Stephen getting together. Nice save by Matt Mills after that contact.
Zilich just gets into the back of the 2, but watch them both just slide along. Guys slipping by on the outside. I believe those trucks are both repairable, and we know how important this draft is. They could get right back in this game, but I think that's a mistake by Zilich. A little bit more closing run than I think he thought he had on Sanchez, and he put him right into the Grant Enfinger.
You know, Michael, he may have been pushed by the 19 of Christian Eckes.
Let's see what Daniel Dye saw. Look at this.
Had a truck go down through the grass with a nice save.
Brett Holmes in the 32, right there.
Boy, Enfinger was really fortunate as well.
I mean, Zilich and Sanchez started that mess, and I believe they can repair those trucks. We'll see. A little bit more damage on that left side than I thought.
Think about the turn of events, though, for Sanchez. He stays out. They play the strategy. You gain the track position. You're a couple laps from maybe winning a stage.
It was working. The strategy worked.
Instead, you get wrecked, you get no stage points, and now you put yourself behind for the remainder of the race. Won the season opener in this format at Daytona. Also won Memorial Day weekend, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Did the 2nd-year driver from Miami, Nick Sanchez.
I don't think that truck's in bad shape, Phil. Sanchez and Zilich both, I think, can still contend.
And how about Grant Enfinger as we come down to finish this 2nd stage? It will be a 19-point two-stage effort for Grant Enfinger.
Controlling the race.
I was going to say,
just what he set out to do.
Depending on what we see here in regard to pit strategy, he may be the guy that's in charge when we go green in the final stage as well. It's all you can ask for.
But I tell you what, Adam, I don't care how in charge you are. As these laps wind down, they're going to try to replace your charger, make you just a part of the story, not the charge guy.
Someone else to give some credit to, Christian Eckes. Didn't qualify great today. In fact, the worst of our playoff drivers. He was stuck back there in the trouble portion of the draft in that opening stage, but was able to rally to finish 3rd in stage 2. Let's hear from Matt Mills' radio.
That's a 75, or was that Bailey? No, that didn't let me down right there. Man, I'm not sure. The 17 was getting lapped and decided to fan out and try to block the whole track. Yeah, that never worked out.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about that was going to cause chaos, and that's just exactly what happened.
3 playoff drivers get points in stage 1, 5 of them in stage 2, and stage 2 ends under caution because of this crash at Talladega. Craftsman's Ultimate Garage Giveaway is here. Head to craftsman.com now and enter for a chance to win $10,000 worth of select Craftsman products and an all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma.
Just put all that in your garage, baby.
Why not? It'll look good parked there together, right?
Got that right. Talladega infield.
2 stages in for the trucks at Talladega. Grant Enfinger has been the man. Nice effort there in stage 2 for Christian Eckes as we highlight our playoff drivers. How about Jake Garcia, Dean Thompson, who was 3rd here last year, all delivering some stage points.
Lawless Allen, 10 stage points so far.
Raja Caruth came in below the cut line. He picked up 5. Connor Zilich coming down before the pit lane is open. Want to make sure they've got that thing where it needs to be after some damage in that crash.
That's a high-speed front straightaway tri-oval spin and crash that Connor Zilich looks like pretty much has escaped. Maybe checking the alignment of the front end.
Families affected by Hurricane Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to Hurricane Helene by going to redcross.org or by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. And got to give a shout out to so many in our NASCAR community that have reached out and gone above and beyond to help all those after Hurricane Helene hit so hard here in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and our thoughts and prayers with all those impacted.
Yeah, the race team stepping up and donating millions of dollars. Greg Biffle's been flying back and forth, taking supplies and rescuing people. Just story after story about our community helping out, and it's just so touching, and thinking about all the folks that were so affected by that terrible storm.
That's the one thing I love about our community, though. When something happens like that, they're right there.
It's official. Taylor Gray did get the free pass. I want to make sure that we give that officially to him. So he'll go back to the lead lap for the final stage. And Ben Rhodes, involved in the crash, has been released from the care center. Grant Enfinger leads him down. Pit stops at the end of stage 2.
Remember, Jeff, Stanker was fuel only that first pit stop for Grant Enfinger. Going to go to the right sides.
Looks like maybe 4 tires, Phil. They're sliding one over the wall there.
Yeah, going to be 4 tires, and that may be their final pit stop. Bamba.
We see the 71 of Roger Caruth coming in for a stop. A little bit more aggressive. The crew asked him to get into it. He did, and they are doing any adjustments. The truck is right where he wants it. Regan?
19 of Christian Eckes doing a nice job getting those stage points. That was the priority when the day started. Right now, truck is good. He just had trouble getting through the pack in that first run. And the 18 of Tyler Ankrum, still too loose getting into the corners, but way tight on exit right now for him.
Race off pit road was tight. Raja Caruth maneuvering around traffic is the first off. He got 2 tires. Fuel only for Daniel Dye, who is second. Riggs takes 2 tires. He is third. Thompson and Heim the next 2 off. Eckes the first of those drivers that got 4 tires. And look at this for playoff driver Tyler Ankrum. That was tight. It's a bucket list stop for every NASCAR fan. Talladega Superspeedway. Today, hosting the round of 8 opener for the CRAFTSMAN Truck Series. You're watching the Love's RV Stop 225 on FS1. With Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Adam Alexander. Regan Smith, Mamba Smith on the pit lane. And we are ready for the stretch run. And so far, so good when you talk about activity on track for the tailgaters.
See some folks coming to pit road here as we come to one to go.
We wondered if a lot of people would stop now and try to stretch it and make it from here to the end. I don't see any of our front runners doing that, guys.
But you got to figure, Phil, we were just getting some notes from our stat guys of how many cautions are in this final stage. Like 5 and 6 the last 2 years. Therefore, that means a lot of yellow flag laps, maybe.
Maybe they figure they can make it from when they stopped on lap 43.
And people, the crew chiefs and the engineers, they always plan on going further than they know they can. Because when the caution comes out, it gets them closer to that number.
And we know we ran a full green 20 laps and however many caution laps and pace laps that first go round, so they have a great feel for their fuel mileage as well.
What's your evaluation of the 2 truck? Involved in that crash, been down a few times.
This is a critical area. Just got to make sure as that truck goes into the corner, that body doesn't shift over and rub on that tire. So if they get this done, you can see the right side's perfectly clean. If they get this tire clearance well enough, then I think this truck can still go win the race. Remember what happened? This was a major crash where these guys didn't get major damage. Sanchez right there gets a bump right in the back from Zilich. Maybe Zilich a shove from Eckes. We saw how tight those trucks were. And then wildly, they just slowly slide toward the start-finish line and then get heading in the right direction.
By the way, the clock has expired. The damaged vehicle clock has expired for Johnny Sauter, so he is now out of the race. Here's 2 radio.
Still long time. A lot of stuff still going to happen here. We just need to try to chip away one at a time. We'll get back where we need to be. And 4, remnants of Daytona and a getaway.
One area of the truck. If they got that cleared, I'm sure they're confident they did. Now he's got more gas, so that could play into the cards as well. Lots going to go on. I love what the spotter and the crew chief said. Many moving parts and pieces to this story yet to be told.
Raja Caruth really doing some good things in the playoffs. Top 7 last 2 races, and has been great in the draft this year. 3rd at Daytona to begin 2024, 8th at Atlanta in the 2nd week of the season. And he'll be in charge of the field as we return to the green flag for the final stage. To his right, another second-year driver, Daniel Dye, made the playoffs, but eliminated last week at Kansas Row 2. The playoff sensation who's not a playoff driver, Lane Riggs, inside of Christian Eckes. Enjoy it. We're going green once again at Talladega. Tight. Christian Eckes sliding down to the low lane behind Daniel Dye. His teammates out front on the restart.
It looked like he wanted to get by his teammate on the inside, but Daniel shut the door.
Stephen Parsons with a big shove on the back of Grant Enfinger in that outside lane.
They don't have a lot of help up there right now, do they, Michael? Remember, the 43 of Daniel Dye started at the back of the pack. Did not make a qualifying run.
Remember, the 38 of Scott Riggs started at the back. Lane Riggs started at the back of the pack. He did not make a qualifying run. These 2 trucks now up inside the top 5.
This is not a new story for Daniel Dye. Got his first career top 10 at Talladega last year. Finished 6th after qualifying 29th.
See, the outside line starting to get a little more organized, a little more help up there.
And Matt Kraft, that bright yellow-green truck, is just sitting there watching this front pack. And you can see some trucks falling back. They know what's coming, and so they're just trying to find them some space in order to miss spinning trucks when it goes down. This was so close right here, Phil.
Yeah, I thought the 19 was going to try to go by the 43. When he pulled to the inside, then Daniel said, well, I'm going down there too, and it was close.
I think he was trying to go by. Daniel got down there quick enough.
I don't know if the radio said all clear, but if that was the message from the spotter stand, it couldn't have been emphatic.
Grant Enfinger talked about controlling the race, still up toward the top 5, leading that outside lane. Got some work to do, though. We haven't seen big runs from the outside all day.
They have enough trucks out there now, Michael, to make a difference if they can. Came a little separated. You see Christian Eckes now is going to jump up there. I was thinking if one of those trucks in front of them jump to the outside, that'll change the game.
Eckes felt like his path to the lead was jumping to that outside lane. Lots of energy there. 19 going around his teammate Daniel Dye, and he's got drafting help from Grant Enfinger, who's been outstanding all day long.
I think Eckes realized that the 9 truck was out there, and he knows how strong that truck has been this race.
In the pylon, playoff drivers highlighted in yellow, and they've been solid today. Currently 3 of them up there inside the top 5, 4 in the top 10.
We're not used to seeing very many playoff drivers finish in the top 10 at the end of these races here lately. Eckes has led that outside line up there to battle for the lead with Daniel Dye.
I love those young drivers inside lane. Daniel Dye, second-year guy. Raja Caruth, second-year guy. And Michael talked about the rookie behind him, Lane Riggs. 35 laps remaining at Talladega for the trucks. Eckes up front with Dye, Enfinger, Caruth, and Stephen Parsons. Just over 30 laps to go for the Craftsman Truck Series here at Talladega. Scheduled green flag pit stops for many of our front runners.
Yeah, comfortably in their window now to make it to the end with a little bit of insurance. Got to be very careful here. No speeding on pit road. No mistakes here. A group of them came, so there'll be a group of them go out together, so they'll be able to run faster than those single trucks. So I think it's a good call by these guys. I think some of that probably was planned, and some of it was said, when somebody comes, follow them.
And I think there's another load of trucks that are going to try to go a long way in this thing and see if that plays out as well. It's going to be interesting to see how many people stay out. This is a great line of trucks right here drafting. That's That's maximum speed there, maximum velocity with that tight line of trucks, single file.
Looked like a mix of Fords and Toyotas that came last time around. A bunch of Chevys at the front of the field right now. Christian Eckes, playoff eligible, so close to the championship 4 season ago. The 19 leading the way right now.
Was able to lead this race last year, late in the going, had to get away from him. Excuse me, Adam, go ahead.
6 laps led today for Eckes. He's led 852 laps so far this season. In fact, he's led at least 1 lap in every race this year. Impressive campaign for him, no doubt.
When scoring recycles, we'll get a good idea on how fast that other pack that pitted is going.
Right now, Lane Riggs leads that group. They're off of turn 4. There's Lane, or excuse me, off turn 2 on the back stretch. There's Lane pulling them along.
Yeah, it'll take another lap or so before they are able to see what kind of lap times they're able to run. You saw Lane Riggs leading that pack. Here comes the pack led by Eckes.
We saw that first group pit under green. These guys are going to have to do it soon. Take us behind the wheel, Michael. The challenges of making a green flag pit stop at Talladega.
Communication, first of all. You've got to understand with your spotter who's pitting around you, when they're going to dive off the banks of turn 4. There's so much room to the inside, Adam. Get low in a hurry. Get as low as you can, as fast as you can, in order to avoid someone running into the back of you. And then, like Phil said a minute ago, last pit stop, no mistakes. We don't want to speed. We want to stop perfectly in our box so our crew can execute.
Yeah, that group ran within a half a second of what our lead group is running. So they right now are 36 seconds in arrear. So they should be comfortable to run a good while before they would be in danger of going a lap down. See Charles DeKnight, crew chief for Christian Eckes. He has a plan.
I wonder if I texted him, he'd share it with us.
I probably would.
Yeah,
right?
I probably would.
Grant Enfinger doing a nice job staying right in line there with Eckes, as well as Daniel Dye, the 43, Rajah, the 71. As you mentioned, Adam, a lot of Chevrolets. Here they come. Here, watch it. The rest of them are coming down. No mistakes, no wrecks.
Oh, that's going to be, I don't know. I don't think he got to slow down. Now he's going to need to get some tires. If their plan was just gas only, you saw that left front pop on the 71 truck. Mamba.
We just saw the 71 come down. It looks like a left front tire is low now on sliding down into the pit entry. They got to adjust and change for that. Like a little bit hang up because they weren't 100% ready for that to happen. 71 is down and away. Vegan?
Well, for the 18 of Tyler Ankrum, it was a precise 5 seconds of fuel. That's exactly what he needed. In the 19 of Christian Eckes, this was part of the plan. Let the first wave pit come as the second wave. That way you can protect your truck just a little bit.
A few drivers have stayed on track. Look at the damage for the 77 of Chase Purdy.
Tried to repair that truck. You see the tape on it. And now he's got a right front flat, it looks like. Here's what we expected or suspected. Raja Caruth just doesn't get her slowed down in time to make pit road speed.
And flattens the left front tire, doesn't he, Michael?
Yeah, he slid at the left front tire till it popped right about there. And then the team was just going to gas and go, and they saw the tire was flat, and they had to regroup. Whoa, that is such heads up driving by Caden Honeycutt. Grant Enfinger had to change lanes.
Yeah, there was contact. You see Daniel Dye was going to try to come as well. Realized he was too fast. Gassed it back up.
Man, there's a lot of things going on at pit road.
Watch that white truck right there. Norm Benning, he gets turned around.
Stephen Parsons coming out of his box.
It looked like Stephen was coming out of his pit box and got into Norm as he was trying to get into his.
Remember when Brad Keselowski was racing here at Talladega, coming onto pit road in the Cup race, gets hit, spins right into his pit stall, they service it, and he drives on.
Lane Rigg was trying to get inside of the 13 of Jake Garcia. Looked like he had room, and then Jake shut the door.
This is tight. 38 gets a run to the inside of Garcia. Garcia blocks him. I think that's wise that Lane fell in behind him. He don't want to get a penalty at this point. Wow.
Yeah, you don't want to put it in NASCAR's hands on having to make a call. They can also say that the 13 forced him down there and black flag him.
Serving his pass-through penalty for that speeding violation that we documented on Raja's pit stop.
Good news for him. Was able to collect some stage points today, and that benefits you if you don't have the outing you would have liked. Stage points can bail you out at a place like Daytona or here at Talladega.
See if Stefan had any damage to that hood. I think a little bit on that right front corner.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that damage with the contact with Matt Mills earlier. See a lap truck trying to get down in between these 4 trucks, and you see the faster trucks going around the outside of them.
Top 3 trucks yet to make a pit stop.
What about that?
Sutton and Maggio. They still have to come to pit road. Behind them, Honeycutt, Sanchez, Enfinger, and Eckes could be battling for the race lead when we return to Talladega with 24 to go. You saw it side by side here on FS1. It wasn't a matter of if, but when. They have crashed again. Our second crash of the day brings out our 3rd caution and some big players involved.
Yeah, you can see here coming through the tri-oval, that's Stefan Parsons we're highlighting. He's pushing hard, Jake Garcia, and Jake has to back off the gas right there when Christian Eckes pulls up, and Stefan with nowhere to go. He was right on his bumper, and here they all go crashing. See Tanner Gray into it, Matt Mills.
Connor Zilich back there, right side of your screen.
Here comes playoff driver Taylor Gray and Tyler Ankrum. All these trucks spinning. I think our 2 playoff guys here didn't have any damage to speak of.
Yeah, Jake Garcia had no choice but to back off the throttle when Eckes pulled up in front of him, and again, Stefan had no time to react.
Look at the 17 of Gray spinning in the dirt, but getting through there. I think he's going to be fine. Let's go on board with Lane Riggs and see what he sees. This is going to be a hard wreck. Bam. Ugh.
Saw Corey Heim drive by on the grass below Lane Riggs.
Makes my bones hurt just listening to it after all these years. There's the contact from the 15 into the back of Stefan, and Stefan into the back of Jake.
Yeah, they were making up good ground till Eckes pulled out in front of him. Watch Corey Heim drive by on the inside. Looked like Ankrum got down in the grass. He spun in the grass. I don't think there was any contact with the 18 of Ankrum.
Let's watch this black truck of Brett Holmes. Look at the job he does. He's up high in the middle of the crash, down low, barely gets through.
I'm telling you, I think Ankrum's going to be okay, guys. I don't think there's any damage.
I think it's the same for Gray, Phil. I think both of those trucks are going to be able to patch them up and go again.
It all started with Eckes pulled to the outside. Grant Enfinger actually pulled to the outside right in front of Eckes as well.
Those split-second decisions they make. Wow. Connor Zilich with heavy damage as well. There's Lane Riggs.
Good to see these drivers.
Certainly
couldn't continue on climbing from their trucks. It's not the first time today that Taylor Gray has had adversity. Here's 17 radio.
We have a whole meeting about this, and if everyone wants to act like a dumbass.
Breaker 19. We got a little bit of disgust, but Phil, you know this. You're out there by yourself. You got that button. You want to tell people how crazy things are, and you push it, and you tell everybody, and then we get to listen.
The good news was back in the day, nobody was really listening to us other than our team.
I said some real dumb stuff. I can tell you that.
You look at the drivers involved, and you saw Tanner Gray going to the garage. You know, he had failed to complete only 2 laps this year coming into today's race.
Wow.
This will be his 5th DNF at Talladega in 5 races. Just such a tough venue. Dean Thompson, top 5 here a year ago. Talked about Lane Riggs, Matt Mills involved after winning the opening stage. A lot of really good trucks, drivers that no doubt could have won today that have suffered damage in this, our 2nd crash of the afternoon.
That's a lonely sound, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a good one either, is it?
Truck hauled back.
Under caution at Talladega. We ride on board with Lane Riggs. Watch and listen. It's a primetime showdown on Fox. College Football Friday as Heisman candidate Dylan Gabriel and Oregon look to prove they're one of the nation's best against Michigan State. A battle in the Big Ten. Action kicks off tonight, 9 Eastern on Fox. All right, Craftsman's Ultimate Garage Giveaway is here. Head to craftsman.com now and enter for a chance to win $10,000 worth of select Craftsman products and an all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Under caution for the third time. When we return to the green flag, less than 20 to go. Caden Honeycutt leads at Talladega.
Standing outside the infield care center here at Talladega with Matt Mills. Matt, you led some laps early. What happened in that one?
I got a quick replay right there, but I don't know. I thought we were just gonna kind of ride there, and I don't know, someone threw a late block or whatever. 75 truck kept acting like he had a problem or something. Like, I don't know, he kept jumping out of line. I don't know if he had something going on or what. So we kept stacking the top lane, but that wasn't on him right there. That was just I don't know, a block gone wrong, or I don't know, way too aggressive to just be riding, or I don't know what happened right there. That's weird, but no, I hate it for JF Electric and Utility. We were finally gonna have a good day. I thought it's been a lot of ups and downs this year. Past 5 weeks have been nothing but downs, so I was hoping to pull something good out there. It was cool to get a stage win. Let's mark that off the bucket list. I was waiting to talk to Phil and Mikey up in the booth. They didn't want to talk to me, but we'll get ready for Homestead and just try to find some momentum to build into next year.
Thank you, Matt. Regan?
Well, Mark Hillman, you guys came down pit road. Worst case scenario, you get caught in a wreck. Is it best case scenario, though, that it was not that bad?
Yeah, no, we're in good shape. We had to do a little fender repair and a little bit of just do tire clearances, make sure everything was good, but we're back on track. So I think we're going to be fine. Go race. We'll be fine.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. Adam, I can tell you, Mark was right down here with a first-hand view of everything, coordinating his team. Very, very coordinated by the crew chief here.
Mark, a blue-collar crew chief, not afraid to get in the middle of it and make it all happen, and we'll see if his driver, Tyler Ankrum, can bounce back for adversity. We anticipate the green flag with 17 laps to go. Stephen Parsons going to come down the pit lane. Front row is going to be Caden Honeycutt, and how about it, Nick Sanchez there with him. It's never over till it's over at Talladega. Here we go.
Taylor Gray up in the outside line there, also involved in a crash.
Big push on Honeycutt by Eckes on the inside line.
You know Eckes wants a do-over so bad. Shifts to the outside lane, and he's getting pushed by Sanchez. That thing is dancing around. Christian Eckes on point.
Matt Crafton way up top, trying to get that outside lane formulated.
Thought he was going to have a little help. He does have a little help on Raja.
Look at Sanchez.
Great move by Sanchez to get to the bottom in front of Caden Honeycutt as he takes the lead and then flares up top back in front of Eckes. He's going to work both lanes.
Try to manage both lanes, keep them both behind him.
That usually doesn't work in the trucks because the draft is so important. These closing rates are so fast. You can't just jump back and forth here.
Raja trying to make something happen in that outside lane.
If you think this dancing is normal, it's not.
Oh,
the saves are just incredible these guys have to make.
Like that one just right there
exactly
by
like
Christian
that
Eckes.
And they're not going to keep saving them, Phil. We know they're going to push harder and harder, and they're going to have another wreck.
Sanchez already involved in one wreck today, but he is the race leader. As we come to our Craftsman, 15 laps to go at Talladega Superspeedway.
Look at the push by Grant, blocked by Sanchez.
The pushes get harder, the holes get smaller that you drive into,
and the blocks get bigger.
And the blocks get bigger.
Let's go to Mamba.
Down here with Jake Garcia. Jake, you were making some moves towards the front. What happened in that one?
Yeah, you know, just the push gone wrong there. The intensity was picking up a lot there at the end, and yeah, that's super speedway racing, you know. So that's kind of what you get when you put a bunch of trucks out there with restrictor plates going 180 miles an hour. So, you know, it's just super speedway racing. But I want to thank all my guys who had a really fast truck, ran up front all day, and you know, I want to thank Qantas Services. I want to thank Duke and Rhonda Thorson for giving me the opportunity, and I want to thank God for everything. And you know, I just really thankful for this opportunity, and just hopefully we can move on. We got 3 more races, I think, then to end of the year, so hopefully we can make the most of it.
Thanks, Jake. Adam, there's another incident on the track.
Yep, 4th caution of the day, Mamba. Sanchez running out front, got away from him. They crashed back behind him. All this happening inside of 15 laps to go.
Wild spin by our leader, probably a push or a block like we stated. We saw him sliding way around that third and fourth turn, Phil, and for the second time today, that truck looks like its day is over, and they're going to put more tires on it and keep digging.
Keep digging, yeah. Mason Maggio we saw for a moment with the 21 truck with some damage.
Keith McGee in the 28. Good news there, climbing from his truck.
Talk about a push gone wrong or a block that was applied a little bit late. Let's see if we can see what happens here.
I think a push by Eckes.
Yeah, I think Eckes got into the back of Sanchez. And look at that slide. Oh, Keith McGee barely slipped by the 2 of Sanchez and into another competitor.
Here's another look at it. You see Enfinger pulls to the outside, and there's a push right there. Nick did his best to stay with it.
He did a great job of fighting that thing.
That's twice today that he's been involved in a crash. Now, earlier he had some contact right here, stays off of everyone, but just remarkable to execute once it gets away from you at 80 miles per hour.
See, I think it's a Daniel Dye that comes along, and watch Daniel Oh, there was definitely contact. Turned him sideways into the grass, and he just kept with it. Great job. Great job by Daniel Dye.
Thank you for bringing us these great pictures, Daniel.
Pretty hard contact from the 28 truck right there of Keith McGee into Mason Maggio.
Look at the front of that truck.
Nick Sanchez radio.
Been using up all my lives here. Holy do anything wrong there, Derek, right? I held straight at the bottom and got hit. I don't get how we got turned around there. He was pretty straight on you, I thought, but it is what it is. It's behind us. We still got a race to run.
They're heading into turn 3. That's a pretty abrupt turn the other direction, and a push right there can go wrong in a hurry.
Sanchez came into the day 8 points above the cut line. No stage points today, but he's hanging in there. Grant Enfinger, Alabama's own, your race leader with 13 laps remaining. A rare Friday afternoon race for the Craftsman Truck Series, live at Talladega Superspeedway. Opening race, round of 8. It's the Love's RV Stop 225.
Doesn't it feel good to have a Friday afternoon affair?
Feels good for us. There's a few drivers in the field today that probably we're getting a little banged up. But for those watching and hanging in the infield,
they're watching us on that TV right there.
It gets no better.
That's a relaxing Friday afternoon right there.
It is indeed. Here's Mamba.
I'm on the box of the number 17 with crew chief Jeff Hensley. Jeff, we talked a little bit ago, and I asked you, what do you got to do to get to back of the front? And you just said, we got to go. Well, apparently the message was received by your driver.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky. Anytime you can spin through the grass at Talladega and not have to pit, come out in the top 5, it's looks pretty good. But no, our place of hope, Toyota Tundra, has been really, really good all day. Taylor has drove a heck of a race. Cut a left front tire down there at the beginning of the second stage, had to come in and lost all our track position, and we're just trying to make the best of what we got here. I think at Talladega anybody's got a shot, but guys did a good job over the wall with the repairs and got the left front changed there and everything. So heck, we'll just see what happens. But still, 5 laps is a long time at this place. But
you know, we'll see what happens. Everybody's done a good good job.
Thanks, Jeff. Mikey, have you ever slid through the grass at Talladega and still had a shot at a win?
No, but I've done a lot of good things at Talladega and didn't win, and then I did some things that, you know, you didn't think you did the right moves, but you learn from them throughout the day, and I think that's the key, just getting better every lap and being ready for the sprint to the finish. You know it's going to be full contact NASCAR. They're going to be all over one another. How do you survive it and put yourself in a position to do just that?
We're going to have inside of 10 laps to go when we go racing once again. Another caution, we could get overtime. And there are always opportunities for drama when you come to Talladega. Look at what's happened here the last 6 years.
Is that crazy? Only led the final lap for the win. That makes for fun TV. We talk about dark horses at Talladega. You're not going to talk about a more dramatic win than one Spencer Boyd got here.
Johnny Sauter was originally flagged as the winner, and they deemed he went down below the double yellow line. And that took the win away from him and gave it to Spencer Boyd.
That's what winning at Talladega feels like.
You know, the worst part about that victory is he was running the Xfinity race later that day, so he didn't get to properly celebrate. If you win at this place, it should be a huge party.
He had to spray water. He got to spray water.
He had to
That's
delay
it, right?
his celebration just a bit.
Does such a great job with that little team. Got Tibbetts on the side there. Always have new sponsors bringing not a lot of energy to this sport.
New team for Spencer this year. He was with Tyler Young back there when he won here. Most of his Truck Series career was spent with Tyler Young, and he just decided to branch out of his zone, as you mentioned, bring some great partners into the sport.
We update the leaderboard as they run with what will be 10 laps to go. Infinger is the leader if he hangs on here, and there's so much to unfold. But if he were to win it, because he's championship eligible, he would automatically qualify for the championship 4. Behind him, though, Eckes came in plus 29. He's now plus 40. Heim, exactly where he was at the beginning of this race, plus 38. After that, it's very, very tight. And all those numbers could change dramatically if Infinger were to lose the race lead.
And I say those numbers will change dramatically over the next 10 laps. It's just going to be so much action.
Back to Mamba.
I'm just popping around the pit boxes down on pit road here with Phil Gold of the crew chief for the 45 of Caden Honeycutt. You guys find yourself running towards the front. Do you think you have the moves to make to get this thing done?
I don't know if we can lead real well with the nose damage we got, but it seems like if you're running about third coming to the checker, that's a good spot to be in.
Earlier this week, Nice announced that this driver, Caden, is coming back. That's got to be exciting. If you guys can pull this off, that'd be a good way to go into the winter.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be awesome if we can pull that off. But, you know, if not, we're just learning for Daytona and just getting this drafting down for Caden. And you just never know how it might turn out.
Never know how it's going to turn out, Adam.
You know, a couple of races earlier this year where Caden wasn't driving the 45, but he was right there with the race team, behind the scenes, making all the observations, learning as much as he could. So when he got his opportunity, he knew exactly what to do. 4th last week at Kansas and in the hunt once again today at Talladega, his first start here.
Yeah, guys, there's some people right there. Lawless Allen doing a great job here up in the top 10. We haven't talked a whole lot about Lawless. Has been solid. Right behind him, we've got, we mentioned Caden Honeycutt, but back in the 8th spot, the 04, you see that blue truck on the outside. Corey Roper doing a really nice job here. And Clay Greenfield right now is also up in the top 10, an infrequent competitor. So great to see those guys having a good run here. Corey doing a nice job.
Part-timers that have stepped it up.
Majorly, and they sniff. They can taste a win.
There's Clay right there, good buddy of ours. Always a big contributor to the Mike Walter, the Walter Brothers Charity Championship in Nashville that we're going to have here in 2-3 weeks, right?
Yeah, coming up October 30th. Me and my brother are hosting all the NASCAR family, and a lot of folks are raising some good money. This is going to be a great race to the finish. See what we come up with here as they get ready to go back green flag racing.
9 to go in regulation. Front row, Infinger to the inside, outside, Taylor Gray.
Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it, Adam? Let's run 9 laps, see who wins this race.
Matt Crafton had some sort of an issue back there. You see him on the outside. That really seized up that outside line behind him.
But I predict it's going to be anything but just 9 laps and a checkered flag. really friendly sight, though, looking in the mirror if you're Grant Enfinger now, just trying to manage that lead. Don't have 2 lanes that you're trying to manage, just that one. Lawless Allen pushing along there behind Christian Eckes in that 33 truck.
Are those guys patient enough just to ride there and keep that single file line till we get towards the end?
Certainly is a great scenario right now for the leader and for Eckes right there.
7 playoff drivers inside the top 10. 5 is the most that have ever finished inside the top 10 in a race here at Talladega.
Lawless Allen needs to be careful. He's kind of sliding up on exit of the corner. That's a sign of a loose handling truck chasing it up the hill. Could open up the door for Taylor Gray.
If you give one of those drivers about 2/3 of a truck width, they're going to be there.
Somebody's going to have to step out, and 33's looking like he's very anxious right now.
5th in line, 91 Ryan Reed. 2 career wins in the Xfinity Series. They came in the draft driving for Jack Roush at Daytona.
How good would this win feel for Christian Eckes? We know what he went through here a year ago. Doesn't even want to talk about it. He's in a position to get it done today.
I tell you, if I'm Christian Eckes, though, we're going to have 7 laps to go. I'm going to stay right on that tailgate of that 9 truck till we get towards the end of this thing.
You want to make your move at the right time. Don't want to go too late, because remember, once we take the white flag, next flag ends the race. If you wait to make the move and the caution comes out, you might not get your chance. Something to think about.
Ryan Reed there in the 5th place. He's a super speedway expert, isn't he?
2-time winner in the Xfinity Series at Daytona.
And then Ankrum, we saw him sliding through the grass along with Taylor Gray, who has Reed sandwiched right now. I love what we said before the race started. You know, Grant Enfinger's here to control this race. He's done just that. Just 6 more laps of controlling it, and he's going to go to Phoenix and race for a championship. See Allen kind of wander up there? That's a little dangerous.
Who's going to be the first guy to jump out of line, Michael, try to get that outside line going?
I'm with Adam.
Is it Corey Heim back there maybe running about the 8th spot right now? Is he the guy that's going to be the first one out there to try to get some help to the outside?
I just don't think it'd be Christian Eckes if it was me.
No.
I'd stay right there. Here we go, Brett Holmes.
Brett Holmes is going to pull to the outside.
Stephen Parsons is going to come along.
He's trying to go with them. They figure they can't do anything from back there in 14th, 15th spot.
Holmes, an Alabama native, grew up about 15 miles from the racetrack and nearly won here at Talladega a couple of years ago.
It would be nice if they get a couple trucks to pull outside that outside line with them.
And if I'm back there, I'm doing just that, like Stuart Frieson's doing just there. You saw the blue truck go up top. Here comes Corey Heim. He's going to try it as well. We got to get up there and go. Here comes Raja.
Now we got something happening to the outside line.
5 to go. Energy is building. Enfinger leads. Eckes is second. Taylor Gray a part of the equation. Another playoff driver, Tyler Ankrum. Mentioned Heim. Raja Caruth has had problems. He's back. And so is Ty Majeski. Been a quiet day for the 98. Can he make it happen?
Here comes that push. Raja to the back of Heim. Just outside of the top 5. They're starting to scrape along.
They're gaining on it slowly but surely. Corey Heim pulls up beside of Stuart Friesen. That's going to pull him back a little bit from the Ankrum truck.
If I'm Ankrum, I get up there with these guys when they get there. They're going to have a run.
You two have both won here. Give me a sense of the anxiety when you get inside of 5 laps to go.
Well, if you're the 9 truck, you're just watching the rearview mirror more than you're watching the windshield. You're definitely see somebody back out of the gas there.
Raja got completely sideways.
And if you're back here, you're just hoping everybody keeps them straight. Watch this 71 and the 11. Raja pushing Heim.
Watch Raja get sideways, as Corey Heim does too. You see, Raja had to back out of the throttle. Brett Holmes did a great job not running in the back of that 71.
Keep in mind, as we hit 3 to go, that double yellow line down at the bottom of the racetrack is out of bounds. If you go down there, advance your position, you will be penalized.
And if you block someone down there in NASCAR's eyes, you may be penalized as well. This is tight racing. Great job by Eckes. Lawless Allen just pushing right along, keeping these trucks nose to tail, coming to 2 to go.
Talk about the role reversal for Christian Eckes. So close to victory here a season ago. Got shuffled out on the final lap, went from the lead to 19th. And that fall from grace at Talladega cost him an opportunity to run for a championship. Does he have the move to win it today?
Somebody's going to have to move out of line here.
2 laps to go.
I think Grant Enfinger would be very content if we got the white flag without going yellow before then.
There's Raja and Stefan moving to the outside.
Getting a couple more to go with them.
Daniel Dye jumped out there with him. They need a couple more, Michael, out there.
Look, watch the blue truck. Stuart Friesen, he looks like he's in a spot where he can hop up right now. Flare out. Not going to do it.
Off of turn 4, down through the tri-oval at Talladega. Make note of where the start-finish line is. It's all the way down toward turn 1. Grant Enfinger is the race leader. 1 lap to go. The next flag will end the race.
Somebody's got to pull out up in the top 5. Is it going to be Ankrum?
Yes, it is, and it's Gray.
Taylor Gray. That blue and black 17 getting a push from the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. Top 2 starting to get away. Eckes pushing Enfinger.
Look at that outside lane. Daniel Dye trying to get engaged with Ankrum. Here comes Lawless Allen.
Lawless Allen, black 33. Enfinger trying to block. Taylor Gray goes outside. Lots of momentum there. Final time through the tri-oval. Ankrum goes around. They're crashing behind Grant Enfinger, who has won for a 2nd time in his career at Talladega Superspeedway.
Ryan Reed, the 91, significant contact. The fire fortunately extinguished itself.
Grant Enfinger gets his 2nd win at his home track, and with that, he's going back to the championship 4.
Man, that was a great performance. That's how you draw it up when you go to Talladega, just like Grant Enfinger and his team executed.
How about the comebacks for Taylor Gray? How about Raja Caruth? He was Daniel Dye finishes 3rd unofficially.
Did you see that truck of Daniel Dye's? I mean, significant damage.
You got it, baby. Woo! Woo! Somebody get my family to victory lane, please.
Nothing feels better than saying those words. I want to hug my baby.
What a smart race, though. 59-point day for Grant Enfinger. Doesn't need to worry about those points anymore. He's locked into the championship 4.
3rd time he's going to race for a championship. Did it last year as well. And think about, for him a season ago, there was some uncertainty about what was next. Goes to a new race team with plenty of question marks. They said early in the year, it's going to take some time.
And it did. It took time.
And we saw in the summer months, they turned it up. Once the playoffs began, they weren't where they wanted to be. But they were able to survive, advance to the round of 8. The door is open, and he jumps right through, winning at Talladega and going back to Phoenix.
I know it means so much to Grant to get this essentially a brand new team. CR7 Cody Robaugh said, hey, we're going to give you what you need to compete at this level. We saw Grant jump in this truck a couple years ago when he was running part-time and do a great job. Brought Jeff Stankiewicz on board. Jeff's the former championship crew chief with Sheldon Creed here in the Truck Series. And they're going to Phoenix with a chance to win the championship.
39 years old, from Fairhope, Alabama. And he gets to celebrate with a home crowd. Here's Regan.
Grant Enfinger, the first driver this season. So go ahead and cast a check all the way to Phoenix with this win today. Grant, your second win at your home track. Talk me through this last lap. Coming to the start-finish line, you had to fend him off. How did you make that happen?
That's Tim Fedewa right there. We know stuff was going to get dicey. The biggest thing, we didn't make all the perfect decisions today, but we had a champion power equipment Chevy. It was fast enough to get it done today. So even though we chose outside once or twice that maybe we shouldn't have or whatever, that was Harry coming right there. Knew Taylor was coming with the run. Tim told me to go up, then he told me to come down, and that's just Talladega right there. So hopefully all the fans enjoyed it. It's nothing like winning at your hometown, home track. Got my family here. First win with my daughter and my son here, so looking forward to that. And just on top of that, we get to race for a championship in Phoenix. So the first round did not go well. We snaked through there, and now we won here. So thank you to Jeff Stankiewicz. Thank you to Cody Robaugh, Larry Berg, Granny, everybody that makes this possible. Everybody at Chevrolet. We had a really fast Chevy here. Same truck we had at Daytona. We didn't have anything to run with them at Daytona. Here we had a truck that could win all day.
You mentioned Cody Robaugh, Jeff Stankiewicz. This CR7 team, essentially a brand new race team this season. What's it mean to get this team to victory lane with everything you've worked so hard for this year with these guys?
You know, Cody's been racing for a long time, so it's not a first-year team, but we revamped everything. Came over there. We're fortunate enough to bring Jeff Stankiewicz over there. Michael Sheldon was already there. A lot of really, really good people followed us over here. George Stone, Jim Pierce, a lot of guys at the shop, Doug Howell, Garrett Lambert. There are just so many people that make this team. It's a little bit of the little team that could, but we have great resources with our friends over there at MHR. Obviously, great resources from everybody at Team Chevy. So we've been knocking on the door. I know it's a speedway race, but we've been knocking on the door at all the tracks. So, I feel like we stumbled that first round of the playoffs, but it really doesn't matter now. So able to win our way to Phoenix. Now we can just focus on that. So looking forward to having some fun the next couple races, but a championship's on the line now.
All right, get to victory lane and enjoy your family. Grant Enfinger wins at Talladega.
Fifth caution of the day came out as Grant was crossing the start-finish line. Let's go back and see what happened on that final lap.
Well, we saw the pushing and shoving, and you knew how aggressive it was going to be. And you could see Daniel Dye at the top of the screen there pushing the 18. And right there, the 18 just runs out of places to go into the back of the 17, and Danny pushed him around. But Daniel can't see what's happening ahead of him. That's just Talladega.
Yeah, you can't see through that truck that's in front of you. And the 17 of Taylor Gray lost all his momentum. We're going to see it again here. We had a great run going here, but he's going to lose his momentum. And Daniel's already pushing the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. Took a lot of good trucks with it, though. You hate to see that happen.
I think the most... Let's see what happens with
Eckes.
Eckes is he...
See right behind the 9. I mean, Ryan Reed trying to get him going.
His push gone bad, right, Bill?
Sure was.
Some of these finishes going to be unofficial because of the way this race ended. But right now, Daniel Dye being scored in the 3rd position. Wow. And Lawless Allen 5th. It would be his first career top 5. Again, those results unofficial.
See Daniel hands off the wheel, making sure he doesn't injure his wrists.
There's Ryan Reed. You saw the hard, significant contact and the fire. Has his helmet hose still hooked up. It's been a while since Ryan's been in a race vehicle. I know Ryan, he's in good shape, but That was a hard hit there, just trying to collect his thoughts there. You can see him still taking his helmet off.
Anytime there's flames involved, the fumes and such is really challenging to fight through, and that's what Ryan was doing.
You and I talked off the top of the show, the margins at Talladega. It's so close. You saw it right there. Final lap through the tri-oval. The carnage behind Grant Enfinger, who's won for an 11th time. It's all over for the Craftsman Truck Series at Talladega Superspeedway. Grant Enfinger gets the win, and the Love's RV Stop 225. 11 career wins, but this is the first time he's doubled down, winning a second race here. First time he's had a repeat victory at a track coming into today. 10 wins at 10 different venues. Updated leaderboard. Enfinger going to Phoenix, plus 30 for Eckesenheim.
Yeah, fairly comfortable, though. Remember, two big races left at Homestead and Martinsville. Some of the guys say Martinsville just as much of a wild card as Talladega. You see Raza just 5 points below.
What about Taylor Gray? He went through a lot today, Mamba, but look at that finish. Great job by Taylor.
Yeah, I'm down here with Taylor Gray. Taylor, second place, but before the race, you told me the mission was to survive. You slid through the grass, still made it back up. Would you say the mission was accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right, I can't be too upset. You're pretty lucky if you can finish second at one of these things. So can't thank all my Tricon guys enough for sticking with me and sticking with it and staying in it all day. Just honestly, just didn't get the stage points we really needed to really go anywhere in points, and I don't know. Got to figure out where I'm living life wrong. I come so close to winning some of these things and just can't do it.
Regan?
Oh, Raja Karuth, we're standing here watching that replay of you at the end of the race. First off, during the day today, so many ups and downs. You overcome the speeding penalty, overcome the left front slide and getting onto pit road. But then at the end, you make it through to finish fourth. Not a bad day all in all.
Yeah, just pretty mad at myself for taking us out of the game there with pitting. We got lucky with catching that yellow. But I'm just super proud of everybody on this 100cars.com Silverado group. I got to thank Mr. H and Miss Linda and everybody at Ally for supporting me, and let me run this thing full time. So I'm pretty frustrated that I took us out of it there, because we were right there with the 9 and the 19 there before the pit cycle started, and we're right in the mix. So wish I could have executed better, but to leave Talladega a little bit better than we came in is good. So props to Grant. He did a great job today, and he's one of the best plate racers. So no surprise that he was the class of the field today.
All right, can't complain. Gained a couple points today. A nice fourth place finish for Raja Karuth. Mama?
Stage points in both stages, a top 5. Not a bad day at the office here at Talladega, Wallace.
No, definitely not a bad day. Super proud of everybody at Brown Brothers Racing, Auto Docket, Auto Park It, Auto Charge It. The work all year is kind of showing, but I can't help but feel like it's a missed opportunity. I think if I caught the block on the 17 right, he would have had no choice to push me, and I think I could have won the race. So, I mean, 5th feels good, but after how close it feels, I just knew I couldn't ride in 3rd. I had to try something, and I just missed the block, unfortunately.
Happy about it, but wanted a little bit more. Regan?
Well, Tyler Ankrum comes home in 14th today. Tyler, you had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. It looked like you were going to recover from an early race incident there, and as you start coming to the start-finish line, unfortunately, it didn't work out. How frustrating is it to leave here and know you got to make up some more points?
It's incredibly frustrating to know you're in position like that at the tri-oval and you spin out. So it sucks, but our line of Chevrolet was pretty damn good all day, pretty quick. So it was just really hard just get anything going in either lane. Yeah, right there, just getting a good push to 17, and just kind of looks like 43 trying to push me square, and just went to the right a little bit and spun me out. Misjudged it, but that's part of speedway racing. I mean, you can't ask for much of a better push than that. So it sucks, but we're gonna go to Homestead and try to win now.
All right, 2 more chances to punch your ticket onto Phoenix for the championship. Thanks, Tyler. Mamba?
Standing by with Nick Sanchez. Nick, you just looked at the leaderboard and you said, I'm only 20 out. Well, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I could have. Going into race 2 last year, I believe I was 20 out, so what's to do it again? Yeah, definitely a frustrating day, right? We took the lead twice, wrecked from the lead twice, and the truck's still rolling, and probably could have won given the opportunity again. So, yeah, pretty frustrated. Kind of got screwed there, having whatever NASCAR officials had going on. Had to come down pit road again after they took the green flag, just for them to okay my spoiler and send me on my way. So that definitely took me out of contention at the end of the race, and wherever I ended up on track is where I finished, and sadly that's what happened. So yeah, really not happy with the way it ended.
Nick Sanchez, not happy, but looking forward to getting in the playoffs with the next race. Adam?
Thank you, Mama. Your final thoughts, fellas, on Talladega?
Well, we talked about from the beginning how intense it was going to be all day long, making the right moves. Grant Enfinger absolutely did that all day long. Very entertaining affair, and as we expected, a lot of action.
I mean, I love the job that Grant Enfinger did. He was there from the start. Again, he almost swept the thing. He only finished 2nd in one of the stages, won the other stage, wins the race. But we saw a lot of young drivers really do a nice job. We saw Daniel Dye do a nice job. We saw Lawless Allen. We just heard from him. He did a nice job. Ryan Reed hadn't been in a truck in 4 years, and he gets a top 10 finish. So again, it lived up to exactly what we thought it was going to be. Unfortunately, we had some wrecks.
Grant Enfinger hits the trifecta, wins at his home track, his family is here, and he's going back to the championship 4. Next time we see you, race 2 in the round of 8, 3 weeks from now, get ready for the Homestead Miami Speedway, Saturday, October 26th. We're on the air, noon Eastern time on FS1. And don't forget the ARCA season finale tomorrow from Toledo on FS2 at 4 Eastern time. With Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Adam Alexander. So long from Talladega.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.